Right, I'm live. Just give it a moment. Let me know when you guys are jumping in. Let me know when you guys are here. If you guys can hear me. Everything's nice and clear. If you guys can hear me. Good. Everything's nice and clear. If you guys can hear me. Good. Alright, so let's just give it a moment. Let's let some people come in. Right, so this is going to be a fun night of fights, really. I'm looking forward to getting into this chat and see what you guys got to say about which fights. What's going on, my brother? Traffic Jam, nice to see you. Thank you for jumping into the stream. I thought it'd be a nice way to kind of cap off the night and talk some stuff about the fights. Got a good night of fights ahead of us, so yeah, it should be a fun one. Looking forward to this one, man. Thank you for joining, bro. Hope you're doing well and hope the lockdown's been treating you well as well, bro. So hope you're good. But yeah, tonight's going to be a good night of fights. Let me know if you can hear me nice and clearly, though, bro. Last time there was some trouble with the sound. So yeah, man. And exciting times. UFC 258 tonight, Usman and Burns. That's going to be a very, very fun fight. I think it's good for us to go through the card, really, though, when there's a card like this. It's not super stacked, but I think for those of us that watch MMA as regularly and as religiously as we do, there's some very good fights, certainly in the undercard for us to look forward to. I think there's a couple of key fights that are going to go under the radar. One fight that I'm really looking forward to is Belal Muhammad and Diego Lima. I think Belal and Diego are going to put on a great show for us. I think they're going to put on a great fight for the fans. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's something that I'm really looking forward to, and I think that's a great fight for two top 20 guys, two top 20 guys duking it out. Maybe the winner gets themselves a shot at a top 15 guy. Maybe one more win. Particularly if it's Belal Muhammad, he has been pretty consistent for a little while going now. Really, he's been winning fights and he's been doing some good stuff. Especially when you consider Belal, like he's what 7-1 over his last 8, with his only loss being a decision loss to Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal just went on to fight Wonder Boy in a main event, so and he's gone 3-0 since that loss, and he's beaten the likes of Lyman Good, Curtis Mylander. Curtis Mylander was a guy that a lot of people thought was going to crush him. So Belal is super underrated. I think he's had some unfortunate performances, taking the fight against Alan Joban on short notice when he was fasting. Yo, Bradford lad, what's going on, my bro? Thank you for jumping on, man. I hope you're doing well, bro. I mean, I spoke to you earlier today, but it's always nice to see you. So yeah, we're just talking about Belal Muhammad versus Diego Lima. I think that's a really, really good fight. I think it's one that's flying under the radar, in particular Belal himself. When you look at Belal's record, the fact that he is, 7-1 over his last 8, he's won 3 fights in a row. He hasn't lost since his loss to Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal just fought in the main event. And then he's fighting Diego Lima. Diego Lima, who in his own right has won, 3 fights in a row. And yeah, I think Belal takes that. I think Belal takes that too. I think Belal's a very, very dangerous fighter. He's more well-rounded than Diego Lima as well. I would say that he's got skills and tools to win it, but I would make the point that the winner of this fight here deserves a shot at a top 15 fighter, especially when you consider what's going on in the UFC's welterweight division right now. There's a lot of room, a lot of opportunities for whoever wins this. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that's a great fight. I think we're gonna see some fun stuff there. But looking forward to that. I think that's definitely one of the fights flying under the radar for tonight. Well, what about you, man? What's some of the fights you're looking forward to most tonight? I think tonight's card's a good one, really. I don't think it's one that gets everyone super pumped, but I'm looking forward to seeing Kelvin Gastelum come back. I was gutted when he got caught by Jack Hermanson. Not to say I don't like Jack Hermanson, but yeah, we do definitely got to talk about Bellator's tournament. Bellator is doing things right with that tournament. But let's get into that. Let's get into the Bellator tournament. So firstly, what's going on, my brother? Thank you, sticking with Usman for your prediction. Firstly, Eric, thank you for joining, man. It's nice to see you, nice to hear from you. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my bro. Thanks for emailing me and the little chat we had as well. I love those chats, man. Honestly, guys, I do love them. Here in lockdown, not much talking I get to do, and as you guys can see, my beard is coming along because I can't even hit up my barber or nothing. I'm gonna shave my own head tomorrow, but I can't hit up a barber or nothing, and I ain't trying to mess with the beard myself. Let me tell you guys a quick story before I go into that MMA Before we start talking about Bellator's tournament, I'm just going to tell you guys a quick story. So my wife, my lovely wife, one time goes to me, all right, don't worry, I can line up your beard. You're going to line up my beard? All right, cool, you can line up my beard, no problem. So my wife comes up to me, she takes out a little slit front razor. She, oh yeah, look, I've done such a good job. It looks so good. There's a damn hook going around my ear. There's a damn hook going around my ear. I was looking at it on one side, like, what have she just done to my beard? And she's so proud of herself. She's like, oh, it looks so good. I've done such a good job. My little brother, everyone's looking at me like, what just happened to the sideburns of your beard? It was awful, nightmare. And the pain that I went through for a good week before it grew back. So now, you know, shaving my head is one thing. I do it myself when I'm at home. It's nice and easy. I've just been a bit lazy. You know, when you lose your hair as a young-sided, you got to keep it shaved down low. But she ain't touching my beard again. She will not touch my beard again, Valentine's Day or not. Otherwise, I'm going to end up with some weird hook around my ears again. But that, okay, let's move on from that. I thought I'd share that story with you guys. So, Bellator. We got the Anthony Johnson versus Joao Romero fight. And I know it's kind of mad that they've gone for that in the first round. I tell you what, I like that they've gone for that in the first round because there's no guarantee that either they win their next fights. Especially when you look at that tournament, there's some killers in that tournament, man. There's Ryan Bader's in there. I respect the hell. I'd be so sad the whole beard goes. If that happens to me. Yeah, I know. My whole beard nearly had to go, man. My whole beard I nearly had to start again. But luckily, I was able to salvage it. Plus, it's lockdown, so I just wore hats until it grew back, and then I could go to my barber and get him to fix it. Yusuf, walaikum salam, bro. Thank you for joining the stream. Hope you're doing well, bro. Thank you for jumping on. But yeah, the Joao Romero versus Anthony Johnson fight. How fun is that? Firstly, let's talk about this tournament as a whole, and then we'll talk about some of the fights. So this Bellator tournament that's coming up right now is so savage. I don't even know where to start. Firstly, I think Vadim Nemco is legitimately probably one of the best fighters in the entire world right now. I think Vadim Nemco might just be the best 205 in the world right now. When you look at Vadim's resume, he's beaten Phil Davis, he's beaten Ryan Bader. And when you're looking at Ryan Bader, we're looking at a guy who went 15-5 in the UFC, left the UFC on a win streak, has beaten the likes of Phil Davis, had beaten the likes of Rampage Jackson, had tons of success, had taken out Ilir Latifi, OSP, all these guys that were still ranked in the top 10, top 15 of the UFC's lightweight division. I think that was an incredible guy. Huge win there for Vadim, and Vadim's done great stuff in general. So that tournament right there, I think is a great one. I think it's going to be one that a lot of people are looking forward to, me definitely included. There's some good fights there, and I think the winner of that tournament, particularly if it's Vadim, imagine Vadim goes through that and he wins all the fights. That'll make him 15-2 on a massive win streak, 10-fight win streak since he's lost to Jorge. And I think you got to start putting some serious respect on his name. I think so. I'm so excited about this tournament. Can't wait for it, man. Vadim Nemco is the best 205, no question. Who's better than him? Blachowicz, come on. Yeah, I agree. I think Vadim is the top 205 in the world. The one person I've got my eye on right now is definitely Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka is very, very good. I think he's a very, very talented, very dangerous fighter. But I think Vadim, because of the body of his work, has to be number one. I think it's very, very exciting to see them announce this tournament. And then he's got then when you look at who's in this tournament, Phil Davis, he's definitely a top 10 light heavyweight in the world, no questions asked. Anyone who doubts that is certainly just a UFC fanboy. Phil Davis is a top 10 light heavyweight. Phil Davis dominated guys that are top 2, top 3 in the UFC right now, right? Glover Teixeira, who's now 42 years old. Ryan Bader, he's a top 10 light heavyweight in the world. Anthony Rumble Johnson, we know how good he is. He couldn't be Daniel Cormier, but he's definitely there. We know Corey Anderson's a top tier light heavyweight. He was one fight away from fighting for the belt. He has a win over Jan Blachowicz. This is an incredible one. Obviously, Machida's a bit older. I think we got to respect that. And it's a what's the name of the other guy who's on it? What's his name? Yagshimuradov. Yagshimuradov is 18-5. I've been my little brother actually pointed him out to me a little while ago. So great guy, great guys in that tournament. And I think it's going to be super fun. By the way, guys, if you're just joining the stream or if you haven't already, remember to hit that like button for me because need to get that traction going. But yeah, so let's see what some of you guys are saying. Nemco is such a beast fighter. He's my favorite in this tournament. Yeah, MMA Analyzer. Thank you for joining the stream. Firstly, brother. He's definitely my favorite to win this tournament as well. He's a great fighter, really fun. He's got such a huge upside to him, and one that I'm really looking forward to. I'm picking Nemkov to win, but I'm not sure. Not in the minority picking him. Okay, yeah, you know what? I'm picking Nemkov to win as well. I think Nemkov's the best fighter in that. I think Rumble is a tough stylistic fight because he likes to stand up and fight, and Rumble's so dangerous. But I will still pick him to win that fight. I think that's a very good fight. I think Nemkov is going to win this, and unquestionably, he deserves to be ranked at number 1, 205 in the world at that point. There's no question. Rakic is very promising. He definitely is. I think he's an incredible talent. He probably should have gotten the win over. So I actually go back on this a little bit sometimes. Volkan Rujimi. I watched that fight again about 3-4 days ago, and I kind of scored it towards Rakic. It was a close fight. I do see where Volkan done a lot of damage and where there was room for Rakic to grow from that. I think he's a very dangerous fighter, very credible, very talented. I think he might be one of the best in the world at one point. So it's very exciting to see, especially when you look at UFC's 205-pound division. Does Izzy beat Nemco? No, I don't think Izzy does beat Nemco at 205. Well, actually, no. Hold on. Let me caveat that. Let's see how Izzy looks at 205 against Jan Blachowicz. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think he beats Nemkov at this stage. I don't think so. I think Nemkov is a very talented, explosive, well-rounded mixed martial artist. He is good everywhere. He has dexterity in his game. His stand-up is devastating. He carries big power. He's got great conditioning. He's young. He's got everything I would want to see from a top-tier talent, and you can't really doubt that. I think Izzy has everything. Izzy's a superstar, the best middleweight in the world, no doubt. I think Nemkov beats him at 205, but we're going to find out. I might change my opinion on that when we see Izzy fight Jan Blachowicz. We're going to see how good he is in that fight, so that's going to be very fun. I think Nemkov beats Izzy. I agree with you, brother. I see Adesanya dominating Blachowicz in the striking differential was huge. That may be true. I think his wrestling game, for Jan Blachowicz, his clinch and his wrestling, pushing up Izzy against the cage, he's going to be able to do some damage there. I think he's going to be the bigger, stronger guy. I also think that Jan Blachowicz is very underrated when it comes to his standing technically. He's not the sharpest, snappiest guy, but you got to remember he was lighting up Gus before Gus went for a wrestling heavy approach. He's got big, heavy kicks and he's got big, heavy hands, and I think his style of stand-up is not the most flashiest. Obviously, Izzy is much more technically sound and proficient in that way to look at because he has got that background in K1. He had 80 professional K1 fights, but Jan Blachowicz stand-up shouldn't be underrated. I think he's a very dangerous fighter on the feet, and I think Izzy's got a tough fight ahead of him. So yeah, his wrestling and ground game in general will be too much. Yeah, Nemkov's, yeah. Okay, I think Nemkov's would against Izzy as well. I think even in stand-up, he's going to give him a lot of chili sauce, so I think that'll be hard. Articulated doing, my brother. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're well. Hope things are going well. Hope the family and the little lady is well as well. So thank you for joining the stream. Hello, brother. Hope all is well. Thank you. Same to you, my bro. MMA Analyzer. Corey is a close second for me. Grappling and stamina is very underrated. Yeah, Corey is very dangerous. If Corey had the chin to match his talent, he would stand out so good. He stands out anyways. He went on, a 4-fight win streak in the UFC's 205 division, was 1 fight away from a title fight, and that loss was to Jan Blachowicz, who went on to win the world title, and by the way, he has a win over Jan Blachowicz. You can't underrate Corey. Corey is still young and talented and still got tons of way to go, so he might be the dark horse in this whole tournament. We might end up seeing Corey and Nemkov in the finals, which could be so fun. Or imagine Rumble and Nemkov. This 205 tournament is absolutely outstanding. I'm so excited by it. Now, Corey got no chin. Joao would sleep him easily. It is a problem. His chin is a problem, especially even if it's not Joao. I mean, who else is on his other side? If he progresses past Yagshimuradov and he gets past Beto, who I think is a terrible stylistic matchup for him. I think Beto beat Machida at this point in their career. But let's say he gets past Beto, then who's he got waiting for him? Nemkov, or he's got Rumble, or he's got Joao Romero. It's just going to be bad for him. I wouldn't mind seeing Corey versus Phil Davis, though. I think that could be a lot of fun, but I don't think that happens. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Early thoughts on Joao versus Rumble. We'll get into that, bro. We'll get into that. Romero would beat him, but not in the same bracket. His biggest risk is Bader, Corey, get the second in the tournament. Yeah, I think so too. I'm still doubting, debating with myself whether or not I should pay for this card. Firstly, thank you for joining the stream, my bro. I think it's a great card. I think there's a lot of fun fights flying under the radar. I'm not going to try to sell you the card. I think that all depends on your financial situation. I don't think it's worth it if this is going to be a splurge for you. I'm in the UK. I pay for a BT subscription, so I'm lucky enough that it's covered. If I was thinking twice, I wouldn't get this card. I would watch the fights, though, if you know what I mean. I'm not advising anyone to do nothing, though. So, yeah. Who do you think O'Malley's? What do you think O'Malley's career looks like from here? I was so hard on that hype train. Okay, so first couple of questions there. So let's go with Joao versus Rumble, Eric. So early thoughts on that. That's a really fun fight. I think there's a couple of things that I need to see in that fight, and it's kind of hard. Firstly, at 43 years old, what does Joao have in his game right now? I think Joao is a very talented fighter, but he's a guy who, whilst he hasn't necessarily shown the telltale signs of aging, he has certainly aged. He's not as explosive or as dynamic as he used to be, and I think he's lost a little something in his game. And going up to 205 may help him with some of that because he won't be cutting that weight no more, and I think that's definitely going to help him. But when you're fighting someone like Anthony Rumble Johnson, who actually has got pretty good defensive wrestling, he gave Daniel Cormier some trouble. He's still only 36 years old, and if he's fully motivated and back, that's a problem, especially with how big and strong Rumble is. Rumble, for his part, I need to see where he is physically as well, because we haven't seen him fight since 2017, 2016 even, whenever that was. And in that fight, he essentially quit when he got taken down, and that was heartbreaking for me to see. It's kind of hard to gauge that one, brother, to be honest with you. Early prediction will be that Rumble's able to keep it on his feet, do some damage, and get the win. But that's by no means a given. I think Joao Romero might be able to take him down. If Joao Romero takes him down, we're going to see some problems. And if Joao Romero gets past Rumble Johnson, then we might be seeing him in the finals. On the other side, actually, no, he's on the side of the bracket with Nemco and Davis. So, no, actually, I don't think he gets past Nemco, to be honest. And I think Nemco beats Davis again. So, I think the Rumble fight is 50-50, just because we don't know where they both stand. But we're going to see and we're going to learn. It's going to be very, very exciting. But, yeah. So now, Sean O'Malley, where's his career from here? Bro, you know what? Here's the thing with Sean O'Malley. It was such a weird loss, right? And I think it takes me back to his fight with Andre Sukumtar. With Andre Sukumtar, he got taken down. He hurt his leg and then he laid on his back. And a similar thing happened again. And what that makes me wonder is, I don't know how realistic or fair this assumption is, but I wonder, is his frame healthy at 135? And he doesn't look like he's shredded. He looks a bit scrawny at that weight. I'm not a nutritionist or an expert in that sense, but I do wonder what his roof is at bantamweight, especially given his age. He's obviously going to grow out of that frame, and the weight cut's going to get harder. I do think he's a very talented fighter. I think he's very talented. He carries good power in his hand. He's got great dexterity in his movement, and he's fluid in his feet. I think he's tough. He's got a championship mindset, and he brings a little something to the cage, which I enjoy seeing. But I don't know that we should be that he's got championship potential at this stage. I didn't see it when I see him making those mistakes that I've seen that he's made, and it's kind of worrying for me that his foot has given out on him twice. Obviously, with Marlon Vera, it's a bit different because obviously he lost the feeling in his leg based off the leg kick. But it's kind of tough to kind of gauge his career from here. I think I want to see O'Malley fight a couple more times before I can give a true gauge. As it stands right now, I don't see him as being a championship credentialed fighter. I think at 145 is where his journey should be. But it depends on what he wants, and he knows his body. He might just be a naturally skinny guy. So I don't know. I feel like 145 will do him good, but maybe I just don't know. But it's interesting. O'Malley has good striking, but I don't think he has a complete skill set to be champion. Maybe, we don't know. He's still young enough that he could develop into his game, though, bro. So there's so much to be said for O'Malley and where he is in his career right now. He's got tons and tons of opportunities and chances. Did you see the face-off? Usman is way bigger than Burns. Yeah, I saw the face-off. Usman looked bigger, shredded. He looked nasty and massive. And I think Burns, it is important to note that at 155, I never felt like he was the biggest guy, but he seems healthy at 170. So I don't think the size is going to play a big factor. His strength, actually, maybe he will, because I've picked Usman to win by. This is not exciting, but by Wallenstall, really, to be honest with you guys, I think Usman's not going to want to get too out wild in the strike, and I think Burns has a slight advantage over him on the feet in terms of fluidity, power, and even in shot selection. I think Usman is dangerous on the ground with his BJJ credentials. I think where Burns is, and I think where Usman wins this fight naturally is with his raw strength and physicality. He's able to hold him against the cage and beat him up in the clinch. I think that's what he's probably going to do for 25 minutes. I for this fight, I must say. Ricky Simon versus Kelleher is an exciting, under the radar fight on this card. Yeah, it's a great fight. I like anything that Kelleher does, to be honest. I like him. He's a fellow baldy head. He's holding it down for us bald men out here, so I'm representing for him as well. And he's got a beard, although my beard is more banging than his, except for when my wife gets her hands on my beard. Did she? O'Malley supposedly spent all his time from injury on the mat. Okay, well that's good. That's good. I really hope he has, and I really want to start seeing this game. I think when you're that young and you're that talented, you've got so much potential to be able to achieve so many things. It's exciting to me. So very exciting. Usman is way bigger than anyone. That guy is fucking huge for 170. He's massive for 170, and he is massive. And look at him as well. He's such a physical specimen. O'Malley has the Dominic Cruz curse. Yeah, he does. He does. Hopefully, it doesn't stick around. But I mean, Dominic Cruz is still one of the greatest bantamweights full time with his curse. But I really hope that that's not a curse that lingers for O'Malley, because I like him, man. I like characters. I'm from an era where I enjoyed Pride, although I believe those freak show fights destroyed K1, and I'm still heartbroken about it when I think about it. But I definitely enjoyed the freak show element. I can't lie. I enjoyed it. As a purist, I do enjoy seeing top tier contenders fight other top tier contenders. But there's something about, a Kimbo Slice. There's something about seeing a sumo transition. I mean, I'm a big sumo fan, anyways. But yeah, I like it. I like Sean O'Malley. Rumble is between heavyweight and light heavyweight. He is very comfortable at light heavyweight. Romero is too small for light heavyweight. You know what, brother? I agree that Rumble's comfortable at light heavyweight, but I don't think that Joao is too small for a 205. Especially given his age. I think what he would gain from a little bit of a size advantage, he's going to enjoy that back in hydration and not having to focus on cutting weight at this point in his career. I quite like seeing, Joao at 205. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's a good move for him at this stage of his career, although it's funny because in Bellator, I would have loved to have seen him versus Gegard if he could have gotten a win or two together, and that would have been fun for me. Sean would really do damage with all that he lands if he had more muscle at 145. Yeah, I agree, brother. I don't know what's going on. My reading comprehension is so bad tonight. But yeah, no, it will get back in sync. It's been a long, busy week this week. About probably about 60, 70 hours. This lockdown has been incredibly busy for a civil servant such as myself. We've been overworked a lot. So yeah, it's tiring. Let's see. Rumble versus Romero equals on last training partner versus top UFC top contender. Oh, okay, yeah, that's wicked. Oh yeah, Rumble and Ong, they train together, all right? So that's going to be very, very interesting. I'm a huge Ong Sang fan, and actually Ong's fighting Vitali Big Dash in a trilogy in April now. So that's going to be a fun fight that was gutted when it fell through. So guys, make sure you check that out. I think One Championship does great stuff in general, and I'm obviously a huge One fan. I actually got onto One based on Johnson Haggerty, and I've stayed on it since. Man, it's such a great platform, such a great show. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Ong versus Vitali Big Dash, then there's Demetrius Johnson versus Adriano Moraes. That's coming up. That's going to be a lot of fun. So much fights. I believe Rod Tang's got a fight coming up soon as well. So great, exciting stuff going on in One Championship right now. Thoughts on Covington versus Edwards? Right, that's a great fight. I'm gutted. about Khamzat Chimaev. I am gutted about Khamzat. And, you know, at this stage, I would rather Khamzat takes the time off that he needs, recovers, gets over whatever lingering injuries or whatever lingering effects that he's facing from the COVID-19 fallout that he's suffered is horrible. And I wish him a fast recovery as a huge Khamzat fan. But I must be honest, I've always felt like, whilst I was excited for the fight, I always felt like Leon Edwards deserved something a bit bigger. I think he deserves something a bit better in terms of ranking perspective that would set him up to be a true top contender. I was gutted when he turned down the Wonder Boy fight. I thought that was a poor calculation on his point. And this is the best potential fallout that he could have. That the Khamzat pulls out once again. He's obviously shown that he's not scared to fight Khamzat. And now we got Colby Covington stepping in, and he can fight the man who he has dubbed Leon Scott. And Leon Edwards can beat him and ask him to confirm what his name is. Just beat him until he confirms his name. Great fight. I think it's going to determine a true, clear-cut #1 contender in the UFC's welterweight division. If it's Colby, who wouldn't want to see that fight again? If it's Edwards, he definitely deserves that title fight, especially if he beats Colby. That's a great fight. So much fun. I'm really, really looking forward to that fight. I don't know which way that's going to go yet. I think it's a very close fight. I think Colby should be the favorite, but I don't think that he's necessarily going to walk away with victory. So, guys, I'm going to be doing a breakdown on that one. It's going to be so fun. Really looking forward to that. I'm in two minds, to be honest, bro. If Burns wasn't totally sure he could win, then why would he call for the fight? Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, why would Burns call for the fight? I think the thing is, though, bro, all these fighters, they believe in themselves so much. They believe they can win any fight, and that's why sometimes from an outside perspective, even if we're not actively fighting, we can kind of make out things that these fighters just can't see, because I've seen it. Fighters are deluded, man. They believe they're unstoppable, and they have to, because that's how tough a sport this is. I was watching a debate just today with Chris Eubank, and he was talking to these ladies, and they were saying that they wanted to call off boxing. It was on Good Morning Britain with Piers Morgan fighting Boxing Corner, which is fun. But yeah, it's just such an intense sport. It's such a savage, barbaric sport that you have to believe you are a special human being to be able to get there and do it. It's very, very exciting. How's lockdown been treating you anyway, bro? Thank you, bro. Thank you. Very kind for you to ask. Lockdown's been good to me. You know, I've been lucky enough. I've been chilling at home with the wife, been eating tons of food, getting fat. It's a bit annoying because I started to get into real shape for a bit. I was seeing tons of progress. The weight was dropping off. I was getting, sharp again. I was starting to feel like a fighter again. Don't get it twisted. I'm no fighter. I just enjoy training. But I was feeling it. I was loving it. I had a great training partner, my good Moldovan friend, who was whipping me into shape. He's a beast of a man, that guy. And I was feeling real good. I was doing real good, doing good sparring. I was getting down Team Underground. I was sparring with some of the guys there that I actively fighting. So I felt like it was going real well, and I've been gutted about that. But I'm fortunate enough to be able to chill out at home, just hang with the missus, watch movies, eat good food, and live that good life. Obviously, life's been exciting enough. Since last year, I've started a new job as well. So tons been going on. I haven't let the lockdown, kind of pause my life. I've still been progressing in my life in other areas. If I couldn't continue the fitness journey, and it's my own fault for letting myself get out of shape for that many years, and only then trying to get back into it. It's a sod's law, really. But I've not let the lockdown get to me like that. I've still pursued my other goals, professionally in terms of my career. So financially, it's been fine, and I'm obviously looking to make a few big steps this year in terms of my personal life. But that's not to say it hasn't been hard for everyone. I know, sorry, just kind of deviating from fighting, but a lot of people are really struggling with the lockdown, and that's why I always tell you guys, if you guys need someone to talk to or chat to, I'm even happy to, email, Skype, whatever it is. I'm always happy to chat to people and just give someone to talk to. Sometimes all you need in life is just someone to talk to and someone to listen to whatever you got to say. And I'm happy to talk to anyone that needs that there, because it's harsh out there and you can't really get rid of COVID, can you? And everyone's stuck in lockdown. But I got you guys back, man. So if you guys need anything, just hit me up anytime, man. But lockdown's been great. I'm very fortunate in that way. I've got great friends, great family. You guys are all great, and Bradford lad. I ping you emails all the time. We have chats all the time. you guys would have seen Articulated Doom, and me and him chat all the time. Eric from Taylor the Tape pinged me an email. We have chats. So I'm down to chat with all of you, man. Instagram, Gmail, whatever it is. So very fortunate. Lockdown's been good to me. Not been good to the channel though. The channel has completely died. Before lockdown last year in March, I was starting to hit 1,500 views on videos, and my views were going up. My subscriber count was shooting up, and the channel feels like it's almost completely died since lockdown. But I do it for passion and love. I might end up taking a little bit of time off, like maybe for actively making videos for like a month. So I've got a video recorded for next week, but I might take off like a month or so after that. But I might do some live streams in that. So I might take some time off from content, because it's a real slap in the face when you work as hard as I do to record these videos. My good friend Habib, he does the editing and gets them up on the channel with these banging thumbnails. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong, but lockdown has really killed the channel. So luckily I do this for enjoyment and passion and just engagement with the fight fans. But it's been sucky, so maybe a month off is due to refresh me and get me buzzing and get me going again, so I can start churning out the content like I used to. I guess a bit of comment on other videos like I used to as well, to try and draw in an audience. So maybe a month off will refresh me and get me ready to go going again. But anyway, I've deviated from fighting enough, so sorry guys. Let's catch up with this. How you been? Yeah, I think it's weird that Grasso isn't a big favourite over Barber tonight. I think that's a bit weird as well, to be honest, especially when you consider how bad Barber looked in the last fight. Not that she looked bad, but she didn't look excellent or unstoppable. And I think when you look at Grasso's skill set, I think this fight favours her. I'm actually picking her to beat Barber, and I think if you're a betting man, that's a good bet to make, because she's an underdog. So crazy. Yeah, I agree with that. What happened versus Colby versus Jorge? That's a difficult one, because I thought that was the obvious fight that made a lot of sense, but I think at this stage, Jorge just doesn't seem to be as interested in that fight as Colby Covington is. And I kind of get why. Not to say that he's scared of him or nothing like that. I think he understands the risk-reward may not be worth it. He could probably beat someone that's a better stylistic matchup and still end up with a title shot. So why risk it against someone that's difficult as Colby Covington? I don't know. It's very fun. But yeah, very, very disappointing that fight didn't pan out. Here's to hoping that we still see it while Jorge is still relatively in his prime. I mean, he is 36 years old now, so we do have to be fair about what that man's prime constitutes. What kind of style beats Usman? I'm thinking an elite striker who can stop takedowns, maybe Wonderboy. Wonderboy in his prime would have been good, especially with his defensive wrestling, but I think he is someone that could have been taken down, and he's someone that would have been in trouble in a lot of ways in the Usman fight. But Wonderboy, the stylistic matchup that is proposed by Wonderboy, I do like it. I think it's good. I think Colby Covington, which is a very similar style, someone with Colby Covington's style and wrestling and pressure would do good, like a prime GSP. I think would win that fight. Someone who could match him in the wrestling, but had more fluid stand-up. I think Usman's stand-up leaves a lot of room to the imagination. I don't think it's fluid or, he's obviously got good stand-up for what he does, and he makes it very effective for himself. He is not a striker by any stretch of the imagination, though, and I think he obviously looked good against Colby on the feet because the way that fight presented itself. But Jorge showed us what he can do against Usman if the fight was able to stay on the feet. If this was a kickboxing fight, obviously it's not. So Jorge is not beating Usman, but still. Romero smaller than Usman? No, I don't think Romero is smaller than Usman, brother. I think Romero is a big middleweight and a true light heavyweight. What do you think of Dillashaw's return to, man? As you know, I think that guy's something else. I think he comes back as good as ever and he smokes Yan. I am so excited for TJ Dillashaw's comeback. Very, very excited. I think that guy's amazing. I've been following him on Instagram. I think his stand-up is absolutely beautiful. Dynamic wrestling, incredible putting it together. His fight with John Lineker really is the best display of his skills, particularly when you consider how dangerous John Lineker is. I think TJ Dillashaw is exceptional, and I think he's going to come back and be exceptional. But he is 35 years old now, and you got to wonder what at 135, 35 years old isn't a young man, particularly when you consider that he's had some tough fights. I think he can be a bit chinny at times, and I think Yan could potentially hurt him and finish that fight. But it's going to be interesting to see what he's got. I would love to see TJ come back and fight Aldo or Sandhagen, and then we can gauge it. But I think Dillashaw's going to slap right back into that top 2-3 mix. maybe even be champion again. That's such a dangerous dude. I'm really excited to see him come back. It hurts to see former teammates not shaking hands in the face of. Yeah, it does, but I suppose they got to put themselves in that mind frame that they're going to be fighting, and they're going to go and they're going to scrap it out tonight. So I guess they kind of got to put that aside. And I know a lot of fighters can shake hands before they fight and shake hands after, but some fighters don't see it necessarily like that. Usman seems like an intense dude. He seems like a dude that that just wants to scout out and beat you in every area, mental warfare, physically, everything. So I think Usman is very dangerous like that. But I do understand what you mean. It would have been nice. Let's see. Is Corey Sandhagen Jan's hardest fight stylistically? No, actually, I think stylistically that's the kind of fight that Jan would like because he's a striker. I think Aljamain's actually his toughest stylistic fight. I think Aljamain is going to be a tough fight for Petr Yan. I actually side towards Jan in that fight, to be honest with you. I actually think quite highly of Jan. I think he still needs to be proven, though. From what I've seen, I do like him, though. So it's going to be interesting. I think Aljamain's going to be his toughest fight. That's a true 51-49 fight. I'm not going to call it a 50-50 because I'm obviously siding one way instead of the other. But that's a really, really tough fight right there, bro. And I think the Corey Sandhagen fight is a really tough fight as well. Great to see you, bro. Boxing MMA 365. Nice to see you, my bro. Hope you guys are well. Hope everything's going well down there in the Emerald Isle of Ireland. Hope you and the family are safe and well and staying COVID-free. As always, Alan, Rohan, you need to do some evergreen content. I had 3 videos on my old channel with over 1 million views. Bloody hell. I can't even hit 10K, mate. I can't even hit 100 views. What's evergreen content? You need to teach me what the lingo means. What's an evergreen content? Top 10 list with some narration. Okay, all right, yeah, I can do that. I've got a video lined up for you guys now, anyways. And like I said, I'm probably gonna take a month off of creating content after this week. I'll probably still do the live streams because this is easier, a bit less work, and I can sit down just chat. And I really enjoy these live streams because it's just like a chat with you guys, and I almost feel like I get more back from this, more engagement back from this. But the videos take a lot of time and effort, and it's been bumming me out, bumming me hard lately, you guys. I can't lie to you. But yeah, top 10 lists pulling views like crazy they do. So maybe I need to start dropping some top 10 lists. So okay, we'll check that out. Maybe we'll get some of those in. MMA Analyzer, according to Hawani, Dillashaw versus Faber is in the works. I really don't want to see that. Really have no desire to see that. Faber is 41 years old, got badly beaten up by Petr Yan in his last fight. I'm quite happy for Faber to retire and enjoy his retirement right now. Dillashaw should come back and fight a top contender. If not Corey, then fight Jose Aldo. We still get a legend fight. This fight does nothing for no one. What does TJ Dillashaw and Uriah Faber do except for settle a personal dispute? I don't care to see it, man. Just don't care to see it. Yasser Rahman, hey, how's it going, bro? Thank you for jumping in. Hope you're doing well. How do you think Wonderboy does against each of the top 5? I think Wonderboy could beat anyone in the top 5. I think he's stylistically a tough fight for a lot of these guys. I would personally pick Wonderboy. Who is the top 5? So I think Leon Edwards and Wonderboy match up really well. I think that's the kind of fight that Wonderboy shines in. Masvidal, we know that he beats up Masvidal. Colby Covington and Usman are hard fights. I think Gilbert Burns could stylistically be a decent fight as well. I like Wonderboy to go on another run right now. I keep counting him out, man. It's not that I'm counting him out. It's that I really rate Vicente Luque and Jeff Neal Heidi. So I picked against him in both his most recent fights, but he shut me up both times. So I'm not counting him out no more. He's still Wonderboy. So yeah, exciting. Final prediction for Usman versus Burns. Burns via wall and stall is not going to be particularly exciting. I think he's going to beat him up in the clinch, hold him against the cage. He's not going to take him down because he's dangerous on the ground, and I think on the feet he's going to be dangerous there too. So I think he's going to be very, very careful. Uriah not taking that fight. He dodged Dillashaw when the belt was on the line. He's not fighting him now with no wall. I really hope that's the case. I really don't want to see Uriah take that fight. Uriah's just going to get himself knocked out. We don't need to see Uriah get himself knocked out. You got to try to get pulled into the views and subscribers game, brother. No, you know what? You are right. You're absolutely right. And when I started this channel, you got to remember this was never financially motivated for me to get into YouTube. And it was about engagement, and I've been able to get more than that. I've made good friends. Forget subscribers, I've made friends out of this, and that to me is irreplaceable. Like some of you guys, I'll message regularly and chat to you guys regularly, and there's nothing that can ever replace that. No amount of views, no 1 million view videos, because financially I don't rely on this. I'm in a good enough position financially. I work hard and I pay my dues, and I'm in a good position like that. So in that regard, yeah. But I suppose you know what it is, bro. I think when you're putting in as much time as I have in some of these videos, and then you struggle to hit 100 views, oh man, that right there. But you're right. I need to get that out of my head, refresh, come back buzzing. But in that month off, that's not to say you guys won't be seeing me. I'm probably going to be doing live streams like this, because these are nice and chilled. Actually, once I get started, can talk. But that's good. That's good right there. Yusuf, can Tatiana Suarez be champ? Absolutely. She didn't look too hot against in her last fight, but I really like her. She absolutely decimated. Carla Esparza, who's on a 4-fight win streak, and probably in line for a title shot. I really like Tatiana Suarez. I think she's very, very dangerous. And I think Nina Ansaroff is a tough fight. So statistically, that is a tough fight as well. But I think Tatiana Suarez is absolutely championship caliber. I think she's going to make a championship run whenever she's fully recovered from her neck surgery and comes back. I think her wrestling is going to make a big, big difference. I just can't wait for her to come back. I want to see her come back and fight some of these girls that I think she'll beat and dominate. It bothers me that she's not fighting, but I think she's still pretty young. But she's like 29, 30, 31 years old, something like that. So we still got some time for Tatiana Suarez to go out there and achieve her potential. Huge fan of hers, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for her. I think she is going to definitely be a champion one day if she comes back as good as she was. They're making Dillashaw versus Faber to bank on the drama. I hope not, bro. I really hope not. We don't need to see people get brutally knocked out like that. If you need drama, then come on, book Cody versus TJ again. Don't book him against Faber. Yeah, why not? It's crazy how inactive Cody's been, though. Like, since their fight, TJ served a 2-year suspension. But since their fight in 2016, 2017 even, since that night in November, TJ's gone 2-1, and Cody has gone 1-3. He's had one more fight than TJ. I actually think Cody should be there having to build his way back up again. But yeah, you see, which is very important in a fight. How do short fighters such as Pitbull and Romero perform so well? Well, while reach is important, there's other facets in the fighter's game, or athletic abilities that can make up for that. So their natural inclination to be explosive, that will add up to that. Their physical strength, especially guys like Pitbull and Romero. We're talking about explosive, dynamic fighters that are incredibly fast and have great fast twitch muscles. They're very strong as well, you can tell physically, and they're just generally very capable fighters. I think that blessings that they have in other areas outweigh the fact that they are probably a little bit short for their weight classes. I think they're fine with the height they are, and they use their size and everything that they've got going to the best of their abilities, and I think it works out for them. I think when there's a smaller fighter and he's spent his life being the smaller fighter, he will adapt his game to it, or they will adapt their game to it. And I think when you look at some fighters in particular, like even Lomachenko, you look at Lomachenko versus Luke Campbell, he knows what worked for him, and he was able to utilize that to his best advantage. So very, very interesting. Yasser Rahman, go look at the stats on Tatiana Suarez versus Esparza. It's crazy seeing how Carla is ranked at number 4 and was going to get a title shot. Yeah, it's crazy. That's how good Tatiana is. Tatiana is a beast. Can't wait for her to come back. Keep working, bro. Eventually your hard work will pay off. Exactly. Hard work and consistency always pays off. Hard work beats talent. I may not have no natural penchant for this game, but I love it. I enjoy the game. I love the fight game, so I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be around practically forever now. So I'm not going nowhere. Just maybe a bit of time off to refresh myself and come back hitting hard and strong and ready. Her performances versus Esparza was one of the best clinics in women's MMA history. Exactly. And it's so hard, man. It's so hard to not see her fighting right now, especially when you're just so ready to see her, and you want to see the division move on like that. But yeah, it's sad. I'm a huge fan of Tatiana, but we'll see her. We'll see her back. Speaking of Pitbull, how do you think he matches up with the UFC's featherweights and lightweights? Well, I don't think he does well at lightweight. I think he's too small at lightweight. I think even though he was doing good against Ben Henson, and then he stopped Michael Chandler, who's now a top contender in the UFC's lightweight division. Patricio Pitbull was a featherweight. He's 5'5". He has no problem making the weight. He's been a true featherweight his whole career. He's a featherweight. I don't think he does well at UFC's lightweight division. I think he finds a lot of problems there. But at featherweight, I think he walks right in as one of the best featherweights in the world. I think him and Volkanovski is a true 50-50 fight, and I think he can beat Volkanovski. And I truly mean that. I think his leg kicks are dynamite, his hands are heavy, his BJJ is great, he's explosive, he's dynamic, and has great conditioning. He's one of the best fighters, pound for pound, on the earth right now. He can definitely beat Volkanovski. I think Max Holloway, because of his size, he's like 6 inches taller than him, and very fast, dynamic. Stylistically, that's a tough fight, but it's a fight that he can win based off his leg kicks, explosive takedowns and stuff. He can beat Brian Ortega again with his leg kicks, takedowns. I don't think he'll be scared of Brian Ortega on the ground and his natural explosiveness. Zabit is again a big fighter, but Zabit is a guy who tends to gas in the later rounds, and I don't think he would finish Patricio Pitbull. I think Patricio Pitbull is a top-tier fighter and a top-tier featherweight, and maybe the best featherweight in the world. The further down you go, I think he beats Chan Sung Jung, the Korean Zombie. I think he beats Calvin Kattar. I think he beats Josh Emmett. Jeremy Stevens, he destroys. So I think, Patricio Pitbull is right there, bro. He's right there. How does Volk versus Ortega play out? That's such a fun fight. I think Ortega beats him, to be honest. I think Ortega outboxes him. I think he outstrikes him. I think his performance against the Korean Zombie showed us the growth in his game from a Muay Thai perspective. And I think on the ground, it's not going to be like Max. He's so dangerous on the ground, and his natural size, reach, length advantages over Volkanovski play out. But I've underrated Volkanovski a couple of times now in his career, and I thought he's going to lose, but he's come in there and he's really proved me wrong. He's been shutting me up ever since the Darren Elkins fight, really. So, I mean, it's a hard one. I think Ortega wins, but I think it's a tough fight both ways. But for that, I think Ortega beats him, to be honest. I think he outpoints him like he did the Korean Zombie. Yeah, agreed, bro. Any thoughts on who Izzy's hardest matchup at 205 is? Jan Glover, Reyes, Thiago, Yori, or Rakic? I think Jan's a pretty tough fight for him, to be honest with you. I think Jan hits very hard. He's very strong. I think he's going to be very tough to deal with, and I think he's going to not be scared of Izzy, like a lot of Izzy's last opponents have been scared of his striking. But I also don't think he makes the stupid mistakes that Paulo Costa did. To be honest with you, I've never really rated Paulo Costa that highly as a top tier talent. He's a top tier talent, no doubt, but he was always going to lose to Izzy at Adesanya. So I think Jan's actually a pretty hard fight for him. I think Yuri Prohaska is going to be a tough fight for him as well. But I think Glover's a tough fight stylistically, because Glover's big, strong, and he likes to wrestle. And I think that's what we need to see against Izzy. It's going to be very interesting to see how that one plays out. But yeah, it's very interesting. Can Volk or Pitbull finish Tan Lee? I would say the possibility is that it could, but I think Tan Lee is a very, very top tier talent. He's very underrated. I think stand-up wise, he's obviously better than both of them, right? I don't know. It's hard because I would pick Ortega probably over Tan Lee just because of the BJJ, but I think Tan Lee can get Volkanovski. I honestly believe that 100%. I'm not just saying that because I'm a bit of a one championship fanboy, but Volkanovski has all the tools you need to beat Tan Lee. Those are close fights, and I think Tan Lee really showed the world just how good he is when he absolutely decimated Martin Nguyen. Bradford Lad, got to jump off now, brother. Take care, everyone, and enjoy the fight. Take care, my bro. Take care. Speak to you soon. Feel free to reach out to me anytime, and I look forward to speaking to you soon, my man. Glover would be a tough matchup with grappling, and Top Game, yeah, agreed. Predictions on how Christian Lee will do against Conor and Khabib. Woo! So I think Khabib is too big, too strong for him. I think Khabib's natural game, natural strength is going to cause problems for Christian Lee. This is not like Yuri Lapkus, where Yuri Lapkus was completely underprepared on the ground. I think if Christian Lee went in there for a grappling match, he will get involved in it. And you got to remember, Christian Lee by Western standards of mixed martial arts, is actually a natural 145er. I think Khabib will probably take him down and smash him. The Conor fight's interesting because he has a huge, and I genuinely mean this, a huge advantage over Conor when it comes to the ground game. But that's not to say that that's how the fight will play out. It's difficult to say. I think Conor would beat him on the feet and has very good takedown defense, but I think that's a good fight. It's a 60-40 fight. I'd probably pick Conor at this point. I think Christian Lee's still got some growth to get in his game. He's still very young in his game. We saw against Jorge that he was getting actually kind of lit up. I'm really looking forward to seeing Christian Lee's rematch with Timothy Nastasiuk, I think that's going to be savage, and I can't wait. Do you think UFC will ever do a pay-per-view in the UK? Well, they've done a couple, bro. They've done Bisping versus Dan Henderson was a pay-per-view. Rampage versus Dan Henderson twice. Rampage versus Dan Henderson was a pay-per-view. So those were two legitimate cards that they've done in the UFC. But next time they do a big UFC card in the UK, I'll be there. If you're coming, hit your boy up. Red Bulls on me. Red Bulls on me. Maybe even a coffee. But hit me up. But yeah. So that's a lot of fun stuff there. Loads of great stuff going on tonight. Loads of great stuff with One Championship. I really have enjoyed this live stream. But guys, I think I'm gonna get ready to call it a night myself now, guys. I think gonna just go eat tons of food now. Tons of food, relax, enjoy the night. I need to start a bit of a diet from tomorrow. Your boy's getting a bit fat again. So, but just so you guys know, I've got a great video coming out this week that I really enjoyed recording. It's actually why Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier trilogy makes sense and what should happen in the UFC's 155 division. So just my opinion on what the fallout of the 155 division should be. It's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what actually plays out. But in that video, I'll give you guys my thought. After that, I'm thinking of taking a month off. But I'll probably be doing the live streams weekly just to make up for it so that there's still some content on my channel. But thank you guys for joining me. Thank you guys for joining this chat. I've really enjoyed this. I hope you guys all have a great night. Enjoy the fight. So if you guys ever need anything, hit me up. Gmail, Instagram, whatever you guys need. Remember, if you're new to the channel when you're checking out this stream later, like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great night. Peace out. Take care, all of you, and enjoy the fights. If I can get the stream by. Thank you.